Hey everybody, Fradham here, and today we're actually going to look at a Windows game, but we're going to run it in Wine. You know, every now and then I reminisce about the old days of playing MMORPGs. And there's been some great games out there. I've played World of Warcraft since release, so that's been, 15 years or so. I don't remember how long it's been. You know, my other favorite was Dark Age of Camelot. I played Conan Online. I played Lord of the Rings Online. And, you know, I've played pretty much every game that's come out just because it's my favorite genre of game. Well, the game that really got it started for me was that I played continuously for years was EverQuest. I loved that game. It was a hard game compared to today's MMORPGs, compared to World of Warcraft and other games. Leveling in it was grueling. It took a long time to gain levels, and to get to the end level of the game took forever. You really needed to be in a good guild at some point so that you could do the raids and get good gear, just like any other MMORPG, but it was much harder. I feel that these games are... EverQuest was one of the hardest MMOs out there. Now, EverQuest wasn't my first game. It was the first MMO that I truly loved playing. I played Ultima Online and I liked it, but wasn't, you know, it didn't hold me like EverQuest did. And, you know, of course, I even in the early days played a lot of MUDs. MUDs, if you don't know, is what a lot of these games were originally based on, except for MUDs were text-based MMOs. And think of games like Zork, where, you know, you type go north, go west, but it was multiplayer and you could actually have combat, you know, attack player name. It was fun. And that's where I really started playing games like that. But the one, like I said, the one that really hooked me was EverQuest. Project 1999 is classic EverQuest from 1999. It supports, I think, 25 expansions, or at least that's what the client says. You need a very specific copy or version of EverQuest called EverQuest Titanium that came out around 1999. It's very hard to get, but you need to have that, and I wouldn't even know where to tell you where to get it. It's not open source and it's not free. I happen to have EverQuest Titanium from back in 1999, so it wasn't a problem for me. I installed this in Wine and I couldn't get it to work. I could get the load screen to work, I could get the login screen to work, but as soon as I tried to get in the game, the whole thing would just dump. Well, just as a trick for you guys, that they don't tell you this on any of the websites that I googled, to get this to work, you need to create a second Wine instance that's 32-bit, install it in there, and make sure you do the Wine prefix or Wine architect equals Win32 so that it runs the code at 32-bit. From there, it runs, it's stable, and you know what? For such an old game, it's not too bad. I mean, the graphics are dated, but the gameplay's fun and I enjoyed it. And here's another thing that's nice is you got Project 1999, but also in your server menu there's other servers run by other people, and there's servers that are heavily modded, and there's one that I've been playing called Easy EverQuest, I think it's called. And you'd think easy means it's easy, but no, it's actually a system that's designed for boxing, where you run more than one client. So the first tier of that server you can run through, and you can solo through it. But if you want to go to the other tiers, they recommend that you box it. And from what I understand, there's people that run 8 instances of the client and have 8 characters following them around, and they use special scripts to control them all. I've never done that. I've done two boxing in the old EverQuest days, and I used to drag a druid around to keep me buffed and healed. So I could do that, but I've never done more than 2. Anyways, let's take a look at it. Logging in was pretty easy. You do have to get an EQEMU login and password. But once you log in, you're presented with serverless. And the default one is the Scars of Alias list, and that's from Project 1999. They have 2, the regular server and then the PvP server. Man, this brings back so many memories, seeing these clunky block graphics. Today you think block graphics, you think something like Minecraft, but this is pretty blocky. But you know, considering it came out in 1999, it was way ahead of the rest of the games that were out there at the time. You can play the Iskar race. They have all the standard races all the way up to the cat race, which was the Vashir, I think they were called. So let's go ahead and create a new character, just so you can see what character creation is like. You have your classes and your races on the side. If it's grayed out, then that race can't do that class. And then on the right hand side, you have your stats, and this is like old D&D days where you get points and you can put them in to increase your stats. And based on your class, you want to increase different stats. You can set your face. There's not too many different choices when it comes to setting the face. I think there's like maybe 10 different ones. So hitting random doesn't really give you like a random hodgepodge of different looks. I want to do a wood elf to start out with, just because I like the starting city of the wood elves. It's all in trees. So again, this is the classic EverQuest that we're going to log into. So we're going to go ahead and do a ranger, and we're going to up our stats. I really don't remember what stats were best for rangers, but usually the green stats are the ones they recommend. And stamina will give you more hit points, so I always just dump as much as I can in there. And wisdom is for spells, so your mana pool, so we'll go with that. Now we got to give it a name. It does have a blacklist of names, and you can't take someone else's name, so finding a name can be a little bit of a pain in the butt at times, just like any other MMO out there. But you know, we'll just make one up. Looks like that's a good one. Stazzy. I don't know where it came from. He looks like a Stazzy. Game starts out first person view. That's normally how people played EverQuest back in the day. You rarely did third person view, but since I'm used to playing stuff like WoW and stuff, I would probably switch to third person view. Just for familiarity. There's my inventory. And this right here was a mistake. Giving the priest of Discord the book makes you a PvP character, and I shouldn't have done that. I know, I vaguely remember there's a way to undo the PvP flag, but I don't remember how. The Ranger class is the only class that can use a bow and arrow in the game, or at least it used to be. Maybe in later expansions they changed that, I don't know. This city has always, for me, been a pain in the butt. I get so lost in here. It's one of, in my opinion, the hardest city to navigate through. And it's easy to fall off and die. I remember falling off of it in the old days and actual dying, but I've fallen off of it since then and you survive. So maybe they've changed the fall damage a little bit. Too many people probably complained. Okay, so I'm going to skip going to the guild and just show you what combat looks like. So we'll fight this giant wasp drone. And as you can see, it's not much to it, animation-wise. Before you'd fight something, you would click on it and hit C to consider it. And then based on the color of the text it returned, you could decide whether you wanted to kill it. White text meant evenly con, that meant it was your level. Yellow meant it was a level higher than you. Blue meant a level below. Green was a couple levels. Gray, I think, was no experience for killing it. And red, of course, was anything. It was just going to slaughter you. So this little pixie's actually kicking my ass. Oh, I died. So unlike modern day MMOs, excuse me, when you die, you don't retain your gear. You have to go find it. And you could lose it. Another thing that's different about this is, in order to log out of the game, you have to sit your character with the /sit command and then camp with the /camp command. And unlike games like EverQuest or World of Warcraft, where if you're in an inn, you can just log out, this has a 30-second delay before you can log out, no matter where you're at. And that was to prevent griefing, from what I remember back in the day when they talked about it. So we're going to log out and take a look at the other server. So the server that I like is Easy Server, Custom Zones, Vendors, and Quests. So let's go ahead and log into that. So I've been playing this one for a little bit. I have a level 15 enchanter that I've been playing. And believe it or not, it only took an hour to get to level 15. That's how easy it is to initially level in this game. I'm going to adjust my screen a little bit so that things are where I want them. This game is run by 2 people, and I get the impression that one of the guys died. They're dedicating a lot to it, as if he either quit forever or died or something. I don't know. I haven't really followed up on it. So in this game, if you want to do a quest, you just talk to a quest guy. In this case, we'll talk to Palamedes. And I always forget what keys to hit. Oh yeah, you hail them to talk to them. And this game is a little more modern because if the NPC says something to you that is a keyword, you can click on it instead of having to type it. Whereas on the Project 1999, you actually have to type the keyword just like you did back in the day. There we go, got him to respond. And then now we're going to accept his quest, go to Oasis, and we're ready to go. This confirms we now have a quest log that we're going to do his quest. And now he's offering us a ride, and we click the ride, and boom, he teleports us to Oasis of Mar. So this is a desert zone with an ocean. And the object of this quest is to kill crocolisks. So we gotta find crocolisks. But I just want to show you how easy it is to kill things in this. Oh, and this one has a map. Project 1999 servers don't have a built-in map, which is kind of a pain in the butt. I like having a map. So we'll just kill a couple mobs. In this game, I found that I can kill things that con as yellow, and even some things that are red, like this guy up here, Arthurus. I think I can kill him. Because you actually start out the game with your epic level weapon, and it levels with you. So you'll have it forever. And you get a lot of really good gear in the beginning of the game too. Oh, I had to summon my pet. One thing that's cool about this game is you can actually you can give your pet an illusion. So right now he's just this invisible thing with 2 swords. I'll show you when the battle's over. So as you can see, we're still at 91% health, and Arthurus is down to 29%. And I leveled, so the XP is amazing. Oh, I got an earring, a golden earring. That's a band, isn't it? No stats on it, but it auto-equipped it, so whatever. So, my final thought on this is, if you already have the client, the game is free to play. I've seen on the classic EverQuest server, or Project 1999 server, over 1,000 people playing at once, and that was actually this past Friday night. So it's kind of nice to see a large community of people playing this game. So it's not unusual to see other people in the game and playing. And if you find that EverQuest in general is hard to level up in, and you find the grind just too boring, you can play on one of the other servers that have modded systems where there's extra quests and you get good startup gear and newbie equipment. These servers are being run by people who truly love the game and just are doing it for the love of it. And they will ask for a donation, but they don't require it. And, you know, if you're in the position where you can donate, do it if you enjoy the game. I was so hooked on EverQuest, I would buy the figurines and everything. So, anyways, overall, I really like this, and it runs really well in Wine. I don't seem to have background music that I remember from the game. Maybe they took it out for copyright reasons, I'm not sure. But I have sound effects of battle and everything, so it's a great game. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.